Hi, welcome to That's Ready Mysterious, the show where every bite-sized mystery is rooted in reality. I'm your host, Kelly with an I, leading you through a maze of short stories that are filled with perplexing true mysteries. From missing people to unsolved crimes to eerie coincidences, each episode invites you to step into the unknown and question the ordinary. These tales aren't from fiction, they're stories history hasn't solved. Whether you seek suspense, love curious facts, or are just drawn to stories that linger in your mind, That's Ready Mysterious is your weekly passport into the truly strange, baffling, and unforgettable. Tune in and let the mysteries begin. Transcripts and references for all episodes can be found at that'sreadymysterious.wordpress.com. No apostrophe and no exclamation point. Today's tale is about the lost city in the Amazon rainforest. The envy we had of the archaeological heritage of our Peruvian neighbors are our distant Mesoamerican neighbors. We have it here in the Upano Valley, in quantity, in grandeur, in history, in cultural manifestations, said the Ecuadorian archaeologist Alden Yepes, who was at the private Catholic University of Ecuador. A co-author of the study that found the site, Dr. Antoine Dorison, said, "It changes the way we see Amazonian cultures. Most people picture small groups, probably naked, living in huts and clearing land. This shows ancient people lived in complicated urban societies. What caused the end of such a large and complex society? The cluster of cities was found in Ecuador's Amazon forest in the eastern foothills of the Andes Mountains, right beneath the Songhai volcano. The volcano likely provided lush soil for growing crops, but may have also led to the city's demise. The lost city was bigger than the cities found in ancient Mayan societies and is believed to be older than any other known Amazon sites. The site was found in Ecuador's Upano Valley, which at the time was believed to have been inhabited by only a few people. It's now known that there were a lot more living there in a much more complex city than initially understood. Researchers say that the city was most likely occupied by people from the Quillamope and Upano cultures from around 500 BC to 300 to 600 CE. The people that lived in the city were likely agricultural, growing corn, sweet potatoes, beans, and cassava. Christopher Fisher is an archaeologist at Colorado State University and has scanned the sites in the Americas, but was not involved in the research. He told Science News that it was a gold rush scenario, mostly for the Americas and the Amazon. He said that scientists are showing conclusively that there were more people in the areas of study, and that those people majorly altered the landscape, which is a change from how we used to view people that lived in those areas. The lost city was originally found in 1978, but was not fully discovered until the use of LiDAR, or laser imaging detection and ranging, by the Ecuadorian government. LiDAR is a remote sensing technology that surveys landscapes. Stefan Rostein, lead author of the study and director of research at the French National Center for Scientific Research, said that he had explored many sites, but that LiDAR gave him a different view of the land. He told Live Science, "On foot you have trees in the way and it's difficult to see what's actually hidden there." The lost city has been studied through the use of LiDAR and ground excavations. The city they discovered was determined to be about 2,500 years old. It's believed the city was occupied for almost 1,000 years. This is around the same time period that the Mayan cities in Mexico and Central America were occupied. The city covers about 300 square kilometers or 116 square miles. The city had a very complex networks of roads, farmland, and canals. The canals were identified by finding causeways with ditches on both sides, which were most likely canals. There were some signs of threat to the occupants of the city, including the fact that some of the ditches blocked entrances to the settlements. The roads are thought to be the oldest and largest of their kind in the area. The roads connected settlements. LiDAR showed the land was full of human activity when the city was active. This included finding more than 6,000 rectangle earth platforms clustered into 15 settlements, which were connected by a system of roads. The octagonal and rectangular platforms arranged together are unique to South America. The platforms were about 20 meters or 66 feet by 10 meters or 33 feet, and 2 to 3 meters or 6.5 to almost 10 feet high. They sat in groups of 3 to 6 units around a plaza with a central platform. One platform at Killamope was 140 meters or 459 feet by 40 meters or 131 feet. The platforms were built by cutting into the hills, creating a platform of earth on top. Many of the platforms are believed to have been used for homes, but some were for ceremonial purposes. Pits and hearths were found on the platforms along with jars, stones for grinding plants, and burnt seeds. LiDAR also helped the researchers find agricultural terraces and drainage systems. Altogether, the platforms form at least 15 settlements connected by a system of wide, straight roads. Some of the settlements are small, while others, like Sungai, had more than 100 platforms in each square kilometer. One road runs at least 25 kilometers or 16 miles, and the longest roads were 10 meters or 33 feet wide and ran 10 to 20 kilometers or 6 to 12 miles long. Dr. Dorison said that the roads were the most noticeable part of their research. He explained, "The road network is very sophisticated. It extends over a vast distance. Everything is connected, and there are right angles, which is very impressive." Continuing to explain that it's harder to build a straight road than one that fits into the landscape. Dorison said that the complexity of the city could be seen through the web of roads, which were built at right angles and didn't follow the landscape. Rostain said that he knew that LiDAR would show buildings they hadn't seen before, but he was surprised by the actual scope of the findings. He says that we need to reevaluate how we see ancient civilizations and stop looking at them from a Eurocentric perspective. Dr. Dorison explained that the findings change how we see Amazonian cultures from the past. We now understand that ancient people could and would build intricate city-like societies. This changes how we see them from the old stereotype of small, primitive groups. The researchers explained that the city is another example of how we've underestimated Amazonia's heritage both from an environmental but also from a cultural standpoint. Rostin explained that this city is older than any other site we've found in the Amazon, and it has changed how we have to view ancient peoples from the area. Rostin says that he was discouraged from researching the Amazon because most scientists thought that no ancient group this big could have lived in the rainforest, but he did it anyway. He said that he was happy to have made such a large discovery. Before the use of LiDAR, the city was hidden by thick jungle, but the LiDAR helped show some amazing urban planning abilities. The city exhibits monumental buildings, plazas, streets, agricultural systems, terraces, and a huge road network that connected different urban areas. Michael Heckenberger, anthropology professor at the University of Florida, who was not involved in the study, said that some of the complexity and density of the city was strange for its time. At its peak, the population of the city could have been tens or hundreds of thousands of people. He said that it shows a dense occupation and a complicated society, going on to say, "For the region, it's really in a class of its own in terms of how early it is." Before finding the ancient city, it was believed that South Americans were nomadic or lived in small settlements in the Amazon rainforest. The research in this city showed that it was home to thousands of people. Jose Ariarte, professor of archaeology at the University of Exeter, was not involved in the study. He said, "Imagine that you discovered another civilization like the Maya, but with completely different architecture, land use, ceramics." He explained that the building of the city would have required a huge system of organized labor. He also said that the Incas and Mayans built with stone, but that wasn't available to the people of Amazonia, so they built with mud instead, but that this would still require a lot of labor. Alejandra Sanchez has been investigating the heritage of the area for over 10 years. With help from the state, in 2015, she discovered 7,400 mounds in L, T, U, square, rectangular, and oval shapes. When she went to see them, she found out some had been destroyed by large machinery. She went on to explain that between the rains, winds, plows, etc., the mounds were easily destroyed. With mounds having been destroyed to build roads, it's important that we protect what's left from future destruction. It's not known what caused the end of this huge Amazonian civilization. It's possible that volcanic activity was enough for the population to abandon the city, or that it destroyed the city entirely. However, study of the sediment in the area suggests that the city was abandoned slowly between 200 and 550 CE. It's also possible that climate changes or social stresses forced the slow abandonment of the city. What caused the downfall of this magnificent Amazonian culture? Why did the people abandon the city? What do you think? Thank you for joining me on our adventure through today's mystery. The stories that That's Ready Mysterious covers are often stranger than fiction. If you enjoyed today's tale, subscribe to make sure you never miss a story that challenges the ordinary and reveals the mysterious. Until next time, keep questioning and remember the world is full of mysteries yet to be explored.